What happened to your hat, Sammy?
I
Your
have no
hat
idea.
looks
Let me see.
Let me. It's just put in a washing machine.
It's probably like my kids, how they were
turned
wearing
it
it.
into a dad hat.
I did.
It's like your hat shape is now like Aaron's, but Aaron's was made that way. Yours
Hey,
was
it's
not.
just praise the Lord. If it looks bad for the brand, I'll just toss it, or I'll turn it backwards.
It looks like someone stepped on it.
That's the beauty of having toddlers
Exactly.
and a wife that will wear it and then sit
Well,
on
that's
it.
what I tell people all the time. They're like, "Why do you wear so much of your own stuff?" I'm like, "Because I can replace it so much."
Exactly.
Like I lose so much.
This
of my
was
stuff
one of
or
the
you
first ones
smash.
I had, though.
That was you early on when you came to visit. That was a gift.
When the table was on that side.
Yeah.
Remember?
Right. Yep. Over there.
Yeah. Oh, it was there. Yeah.
Yeah. You sound this. I'm like, no, we never had it there.
Yeah.
Over there.
Oh, because we didn't have this one.
No, that other studio wasn't built. Yeah, we built, but it looks exactly the same on camera.
Will this be distracting for your ADHD?
No.
Okay. Do we have another? That means yes. Do we have another hat? Do we have another access to a hat?
Well, I've already figured out that it was like someone had to step on it. If I didn't know how that got like that, then it would bother me.
Okay,
but
just
I've
tell
already
me.
concluded that
It's just giving it character.
it's
Going beyond what it was.
Don't try to make it
Beyond the letter.
It's
It's beyond repair right now. That has the armor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The thing is, I had a different hat on.
Okay.
I had the baptized one, but I don't want to be double baptized. I'd be like an extra brand.
Baptist.
Yeah.
You didn't want to be a Baptist.
I'd be like brand on brand. So I was like, let me try
That's
a
too
different
much.
one. Yeah. You gotta kind of mix it up. So.
Yeah. And then Sammy, what's interesting is your shirts got to be oversized, but not your hats. You wear your hats, normal.
You got to snug them. You can't have those unless I get those big ones. You remember? Remember those big hats?
Yeah.
I feel like they trended for a little bit.
Still a style though.
Well, no, but people realize it's kind of hard to travel with. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're not really rocking it.
Aaron knows this, and I won't put it on the podcast because I refuse to be stolen. But I got this idea for this company that's just revolutionary. Okay. I just such a busy time of my life that I can't see. Off camera, I'll tell you guys what it is. But it's a revolutionary concept that if I could just sit down one day and get 60 days to go in the lab, to go in R&D, and have it into a production,
It's gonna lock in.
game over.
Yeah.
Game over. So I'm taking investors. So just let me know.
How many of those do you think you have?
I get about 10 a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And usually by midnight, I'll...
You destroyed 9 of them?
Exactly.
Yeah. You're like,
this one legitimately has been 2 years.
yeah, past the test of
2
time.
years in mental development.
Amen.
And it still is genius.
Which is like 200 for a regular person.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. It'll stick. It'll stick. This when I was 21, this is a true story. I had my dad, dude. I can't stand my dad. So
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day. Yeah, welcome everybody to be on the letter. We got Sammy in the house, Aaron in the house, Fueguito.
What's up,
Yeah.
Los Fuego, and Nancy and Alice is and who's behind the ones and twos? Gabe.
Yeah, G.
What's up, Gabe? So I'm 21. I think I was 21. Yeah, 21. Had this concept for a business. It's still genius to this day. Maybe it's invented now. I haven't really looked into it. But I created a company called Power Pops. They were popsicles with 23 grams of protein inside of them.
Oh,
Okay,
that's good.
so the concept was you could be at like a gym could have a Power Pops fridge, and instead of going and making a smoothie, whatever, they just walk out with a popsicle. When people are recovering from surgery, a lot of times they can only have popsicles in their recovery because they can't bite, chew, anything like that. So I'm like, it's nutrient based. I'm talking about this is 15 years ago.
Yeah, of course.
Thinking about nutrients.
That's good.
And so it was high in vitamins. It was high in it was high in protein. So I was developing this, made them the delicious, figured it out, bro. I was labbing for like 9 months.
Oh, you made them.
I made them, dude. I made them.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the flavors?
I had pineapple coconut.
Oh.
I had a strawberry banana. And then I had like a chocolate-based joint. It was like I think it was just like chocolate is what it was. 23 grams of protein inside of each popsicle is how I had it figured out, right? So
A little sweet treat.
you know me.
I know you. A little sweet treat.
Little sweet treat.
It'll get you. A sweet treat.
Little sweet treat,
Yeah.
and you get your muscles big.
Amen.
Like, what a win, bro. What a win. So, at the time, I didn't know calories or anything like that. We're going to go get it tested. I know the math was there. I knew all the partitioned of the scoops and everything like that. I had all that figured out. And so telling my dad about it. My dad, it's a great idea. My dad's like, that's a great idea. But mind you, by time 21, I had started about 11 businesses. So like on top of that, still running that like video company and marketing company that I was running. So, but this one I'm all in on, right? Like I'm getting investors. Okay. So
He gave it away.
No, dude, I got this, my buddy, he gets me this meeting. He said, hey, man, I know this really famous jeweler in L.A. He owns a bunch of jewelry, like these big, jewelry stores. He's always looking to invest in stuff. I'll get you a meeting with him. Cool. I roll up frozen popsicles in like, I don't even know how, but I had this like little freezer that I made, and just because they got to be, they're frozen, they're popsicles. So I roll up. They're outside his office. I come in. Well, I don't have them on me when we meet. So we go and we meet. I give him the whole pitch. He's like, "Oh man, yeah, that's actually really interesting." And so he's like, "Okay." I go, "Well, I'd love for you to test them." So I go outside to get them. I had 6. And there's only 1 left. Okay, I'm like, "What the heck?" And so I see his nephew, who's like 9, crushing them, eating them.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Oh, he had the runs.
He had 150 grams of protein turned into the Hulk.
Yeah. And now his name is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. It started him off.
You remember that kid in the 90s that was like little Tarzan?
Who was guarding the pop?
It was just out by the door. It was out, and he can just like the nephew kind of heard us talking about it.
Where was Phil at this time? That's what we need to Phil.
Non-existent.
Oh, Rooster or somebody.
No, get this. It actually works to my benefit. So what happened was, little kid hears us talking about it. We go in the office. I'd give the pitch, everything like that. I go out, I come back in. I say, so I have 1. Like your nephew's eating them right now. So when we go inside, I just leave it outside because it was like it had to be like hooked up to power because I was like I had this mini like freezer thing because I wanted them fresh.
Yeah.
And I knew we were gonna meet and all that, and I didn't want him to like try them first and then make this pitch. So I had to be plugged into power. So it's in the bag but plugged into power. The little thing that I had. My dad, that's when he was sick. So I used to. We had this like a car freezer because my mom would go to Santa Monica and get my dad's groceries when he had cancer. And so we had this little like mini freezer fridge, and you could either plug it into your carport or a plug. Yeah. So that's what I had. I borrowed it from my dad. So that's what it was. And so the little kid hears us talking about it. So while we're in there, he like opens up the little freezer and just starts crushing them.
That he's like smashed 5 of them.
5.
It's
5.
pretty. That's bold. I mean,
Smashed 5.
I get it. If something sounds good, I'm gonna maybe grab 1 of them as a kid. You taking 5?
He's spoiled rotten.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You take 5 of the 6. You want to get 1 and then kind of make it look like there was only 5 in there. You take you eat 5 of them. That's
what was the flavor that was left though?
Yeah, probably.
Bro,
chocolate.
I think it was pineapple coconut if I remember right. Yeah. That's the one he tried. Yeah. But also low key, like the kid left the freezer open, so it was kind of melted. So, bro, I was falling apart, dude. I'm walking in and I'm just like,
your nephew. You just went all
I do. I go in and I go. I'm 21 years old, right? So I said, hey, his name was Sam. Hey, Sam.
Good name.
Your nephew. Yeah. Samuel. So I said, hey, Sam, I'm so sorry. Your nephew, he ate all the popsicles and he left the freezer open. So I have this one, and I had even like saran wrapped them and sealed them like real popsicle wrappers. So the other, I said, this one's kind of melted, and so he kind of pulls it out and kind of just, he has like wearing a suit. Owns multiple jewelers, so he's wearing like a suit. So he's kind of like opens it, he kind of like tastes it, and he's like, hey, I forget his nephew's name. Well, come in here right now.
Yeah. Probably Judas. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. This is where it worked in my advantage. He said, come in here right now. His nephew comes, he's like, did you eat all those popsicles? And the nephew's like, yeah, Uncle, I'm sorry. And then he goes, what'd you think of them? And he was like, it was so good.
Oh, that's
why
good.
I kept eating them.
Wow.
And then he looks at me, he goes, if my nephew's a picky eater. If he could eat those and you're telling me those are healthy and they have protein, I'll invest. And so he opens up his armory, and he has probably, $5 to $10 million worth of gold bars in his thing. It's like gold bar because he also like manufactured gold for other like places. I mean, he just has this thing, and if I like, it's a little foggy, but basically what he said was, each one of these bars is worth $50,000. He goes, I'll let you take 3 of them right now, and you can come as you need, and we talk about it, and you can get whatever gold that you need for your business if you sign a contract right here, right now, that I own 50% of the business with you. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Bars for bars.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I get 5 of them though. I would have been like,
Power pops.
5 of them.
Hey, let me get one for home. Let me get one for the pocket. So I was like, yeah, I'm good with that. Let me just call my dad real quick. So I call my dad.
And he says, don't do it.
My dad goes, oh, no, then you're worth more than that. Tell him no. And my dad goes, I'll give you the money to do it. Okay?
Oh, no.
Now, if you know Pastor Diego, sometimes he would just be saying stuff.
So you could have had 3 gold bars.
Right there, 50% of the company.
And he would have invested more into it.
I had an investment portfolio. I had to buy these $50,000. I had to buy these machines that flash froze. Like that's one of the reasons that gives popsicles their smooth consistency is you have to flash freeze. So that's why if you make popsicles at home, you put it in the freezer and then you're like, oh, it's not as good and it's icy and all. So trust me, I'm an expert. Yeah. I'm a popsicle expert.
Yeah.
Trust me,
we believe it. We believe it.
Hey, he's popping.
But I'm an expert at popsicles.
Yeah.
All right. I tell you everything you need. I'm not going to give it away. But there's some certain ingredients you need. You want that really smooth popsicle. So 50,000 was just for the, they're like baths. That actually the flash freezer is actually a water bath. You put it in these things. That's how all these Michoacana spots make all these great popsicles in the stores. They got those. They have the little water baths that they're mineralized. Mm-hmm. So right when it goes in it, that mineral water that's below sub-zero, boom, flashes it right away. So I had like a little machine that I could only make 6 at a time. That's why I had 6. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you need like tens of thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. So my dad goes, I'll do it. Don't do it. I come back in. I go, well, I'm not. My dad doesn't think 50% is fair. He's like, do it for 10. So I come back like, hey, my dad suggests 10. Whatever. No, 50. Take it or leave it. So I was like, yeah, I'm not comfortable. He's, okay, well, if you change your mind, come back and holler at me. So I go back talking to my dad. Hey, Dad, when do you think I can get the money to start the business?
He's
when
like,
do you think
what
I
are you
can get the money? Right. No, he'd be like, yeah, no, let's do it. And then like a month later, because mind you, I'm also in college, so I don't see my dad every day. Right, I'm at school, so it's, weekends every once in a while. I'm still going to school, so it's kind of a side project thing. So then one day I come home, I'm like, Dad, okay, Dad, like I gotta really, summer's coming. I got time. Like I'm gonna green light this thing. And he's like, oh shoot.
That's the best. Man.
I go, what? He goes, I invested in another company.
No, he didn't.
Man, you serious?
He goes,
no, bro.
He said, I took that money.
Power pudding.
Oh, that's so funny.
No, it was bro, which is
Power bars or that?
No, it was basically, thank God it worked out for my dad, but Garden of Life, Jordan Rubin, which he wasn't Garden of Life. That was already a big thing, which is you go to like Sprouts, Whole Foods, half of the products are Garden of Life. it was in his farm that he was going to ship meat to people's doors, which just utterly did not work out.
No.
And so it fell flat, and then they felt bad, so they brought my dad into ownership of Ancient Nutrition, which is huge. But small ownership. But it ended up translating to that. But for years, I'd call my dad and be like, Dad, how's your farm? I'd call him and be like, you would have been a popsicle empire king.
Yeah, he would have.
For real.
How's your cows?
Especially 15 years ago. 15 years ago, that would have.
Bro, are you kidding me?
popping, yeah.
Dude, people are just getting into health now. We would have 15-year head start. Are you kidding me? It figured that thing out. I mean, look how many.
That's great. That's a great story. Happy
long story,
Happy Father's Day, guys. Happy Father's Day.
I don't know when this episode airs, but it's somewhat, yeah.
Oh, that's
So
funny.
still to this day, I look at my dad with such detest. I still
I'm
can't go to
I'm
a
gonna ask him next time I see it. Hey, I heard you had a meat to house.
No, you should say, I heard you were going to have a fractional ownership in a popsicle protein company, but instead you bought some cows.
No, before I do that, I want to ask him about his farm.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
Hey, do
I
you have
heard
a
used to
farm?
have a farm. It's not around anymore.
He's gonna say, yeah, on this property it was here.
Yeah. It's in this part. I still can't go to Sprouts and look at Ancient Nutrition without some type of heartbreak.
So if you're ever throwing popsicles at your pops, that's why.
Yeah, dude, it was hard, bro. I had this logo. It was a guy flexing.
Popsicle?
And he had a popsicle in his hand. So it was big bicep.
That's actually dope.
Right? Big old bicep with a big old popsicle in his hand. Like the little round one. And it said, and then all across the top it said Power Pops on the top and the bottom.
That's cracking.
You might need to bring it back up. Hey, those are dope.
What I was saying earlier, my new invention is even better than that one.
Okay.
Yeah. It has even more potential than Power Pops.
Let's just not talk to your dad about it, though.
Yeah, he's going to try to convince me to save for his investing. I'll do. No. Don't get outside investing.
3 gold bars would have been crazy.
150,000.
That would have been. Imagine taking 3 gold bars
That's
back
what
to
I
the.
needed.
You would have taken it back to college.
Yeah, right.
You would have filmed a music video.
Would have been in a club with one on each shoulder.
I would have drilled holes and put them in. Yeah.
Like, where do you go to cash those in anyway?
You don't
To
even.
that him?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean? Was he turning it into necklaces?
You just need to bring it back to the college
That's
just for a
all.
little bit
Yeah.
though to show people.
I think he was just being a boss. I think he was going to cash it
That's
out. But
that's
he
a
wanted-
boss
he
move, though.
was
It is
gonna,
to open it and you can see it all.
Bro, there was coins, bars, gold, silver, necklaces, and what he used to, because what actually is he slowly after that he had become a client of mine, and he's the one who I always famously tell the story that I had gotten into photography and he let me
that's the
take
same
pictures
guy.
of his jewelry.
That's cool.
He let me take picture of his jewelry. My pictures were so bad. He paid me on the front end. He asked for his money back, and then he said, he's a very good businessman. So he saw potential in me. So he said, "Hey, your photography sucks. You gave me 75. He said you gave me 100 photos. I can only use 2. I'll pay you $75 for every picture I use." So he said, "My store's open for whenever you want. You want to do photos? You want to learn your craft? Feel free. Any picture I ever use, I'll give you 75." And so
That's great.
Every weekend, and then in the summer, I drove out there 3 days a week. And then he ended up liking me so much because I had done sales previously that I was selling people on engagement rings and started to learn diamonds and jewelry and stuff like that. And so he would tell me, "Hey, Adam, can you drop these diamonds off at my other shop?" So he had this at the time. He had a 2000. This wasn't in 2021, so this would have been actually like 2009 to 2010. So he had this 2010 7 Series BMW, which back then that used to be a big deal.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah,
people
yeah.
have 7 Series, they're
Right,
nice, but
right.
they're not. You don't think like, oh my.
For sure.
Back then, someone had a set. I mean, you knew that you were in corporate America. Like anyone who had a 7 Series was just like you're balling. So he had this 2010.
He'd have you drive his whip
He'd
to
give me
it?
the keys
Yeah.
because he had all these jewelry stores. So he'd say, "Hey, can you drop these diamonds off?" And there'd be times that I'd have $500,000 to $1 million worth of diamonds in the glove box, driving from one location to another. And he wouldn't do that with no one. But he was like, he knew I was in Bible school. So he's the one, I don't know if I've ever told, but I told only maybe once or twice. When I was going to finish school, he pulled me aside and he said, Adam, you're one of the most hardworking guys I've ever met. And I believe, he goes, my biggest issue at my business is that I have to be everywhere and do everything. He's like, you're the only person that I trust with the keys to my shop. Like, he was really anal, had cameras everywhere. When I'd go in his office, he would just be staring at the monitor of every one of his businesses, seeing what his employees were doing. Like, very paranoid, very, so he was like, I trust you. He goes, he had just opened up a beautiful shop on Manhattan Beach. And he said, I want you to run that store. I'll give you the keys to this 7 Series BMW. And
as like a signing bonus kind of deal.
Yeah, and he said, and I'll pay you. He said, I'll pay you $100,000 a year to start, and then he goes, and as you do well, I'll pay, sky's the limit. I'll pay you commissions on your sales, all that stuff like that. You're the only guy I trust. And I said, Sam, I want to be a pastor. That's not in my heart. And he was like, I respect that. I had to try. He literally said, I just had to try, And
I would have said, but you can still hook up the keys. Come on, bless me. Come on. Hello.
Give a pastor.
Come on. Sow a seed. Sow a seed.
But there's this thing called tithing, He used to love, who's the pastor with dollar in their name? Creflo. He loved Creflo Dollar, bro.
Okay.
He would listen to him on the radio. Didn't go to church or nothing. He was Coptic Christian, but didn't go to church. But every time I turned on a car, he had a Creflo Dollar sermon because it was all about wealth and prosperity. And I mean, he would eat it up. But I get so, imagine you're 20, 21 years old, $500,000 worth of diamonds in the glove box, 7 Series BMW. I would be nervous driving that thing.
Oh, yeah,
I'd have a blast, but I'd be so nervous.
Oh, yeah.
What song was you listening to when you was in the BMW with the?
I don't even remember. Oh shit! Well, that was my.
It was trying to catch me riding dirty. Trying to catch me riding dirty.
That was my ultra Christian age. So for sure, it would have been like a sermon. Yeah, that was my
Okay.
that was my I was at Masters at that time.
Okay.
So it was don't nothing defile my ears. Can't
You're good.
So it would have been a MacArthur sermon
for sure.
Something maybe Greek, some guy in Greek.
Probably some like hymns and stuff like that.
Well, for sure, bro. I was living. There's a fountain filled with grace.
Yeah.
Come down.
Just driving it, praying over the. Probably not even praying, just reading scripture over it. You know what I mean?
Calvinists don't pray.
He's reading scripture in the beginning.
I would recite scripture. It was all hymns all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Infield and all the other hymn things. And I'd be like, for he is. Imagine being this gangster 7 Series. I'm sitting there singing hymns.
Oh, that's funny. That's probably why he trusted you.
For sure, he thought I was a loser.
He ain't bumping Tupac coming in here like, I'm in Bible college. Like, you actually are not going to steal the gold.
Right. Yeah, there's no way this guy steals my gold.
No, you got hymns in there.
Yeah, for sure. He for sure saw he could trust me 100%. But he made my wife's first ring, stuff like that. I designed it with him and stuff like that. So we used to be really close. We had this whole family thing happening.
Is he still around or what?
Maybe, but my friend that went to prison, that was his cousin, so it got kind of weird after
let
things
him know about
happened.
the
Understandable.
stuff.
Yeah. But I'm still involved in jewelry. I still design jewelry to this day. Certain things that I wear are designed by me and stuff like that. So I'm still, but I have new jewelry friends. But yeah, I still design. Like my mom's current wedding ring was designed by me, and Nathan's engagement ring was designed by me over at that jeweler. Yeah, so I still dabble. Patria has jewelry. We don't like our church. I don't really like promote it much, but I did a whole custom collection. So when staff hit retirement things, certain stuff like we gift. But we have a lot of. I don't know if you ever seen it, but
no, I didn't get like a new on the team gift.
I just said no. It's very expensive.
No.
You had
retired. It's after.
You had the leatherman's jacket.
I got that.
Yes,
you got the custom.
I did.
But we do. We have a link, and we do gold plated and all that kind of stuff like that. With all like our logos, our olive tree, all that kind of stuff like that. We do. I told you this. One of my other jeweler friends, when we changed our church's name as a gift, he gave me a grill that had the church's logo in the tooth of the grill.
So dope.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah. So, if you know Beyond I Do, Aaron Barnett is one of our jewelry partners. You know, for like engagement rings and stuff like that.
You ever gonna wear the grill on the sermons?
I don't think so. I might show a picture one day.
That'd be
talking about I love that jewelry art.
Wear it in like a generosity video.
Yeah,
Suited and booted.
Yeah. What's up, everybody?
Hey, everyone.
Do a close up.
Let me see your grill.
They're fun, bro. My group, you could go to, what's his name? Lux Grills is his name, and you just got to keep scrolling down, and you'll see a little olive branch with some
That's dope.
Green emeralds, and I think I showed you a picture of the grill before. Yeah. He had told me, I want to do something for you. Just congratulate you taking over, and I'm like, bro, you make grills. What
you gonna do?
He's like, I want to make you a grill.
Like, I bet.
I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So sometimes I'll put it on for Ashley.
You got.
Hey, some bottoms would have looked cool though.
We're taking We're taking a picture of Adam for conference.
You got to, you got to. Is it just top? It's just top, not top and bottom.
Yeah. So he made. They go on your canine. So the logo is on your canine. It's on my canine, and then the other one, it's just like a gold thing. But yeah, he was like, but he's the one Sarkario Jewelry. He's the one who did the custom Patriot stuff too. That he and I collaborated and designed it. They're really cool stuff as well. But yeah, so I'm still super involved in jewelry. Yeah. And then my other jeweler friend Aaron Barnett, he and I created actually a very successful thing that sells a lot, which is this like bracelet. You've seen it before. It's crosses. That looks like Van Cleef and Arpels, but we made it with Byzantine crosses. That's with natural stones, and he sells. I'm not involved in any way. I don't get like cutback or anything, but he sells a lot of them. And he and I worked on that design. So I come out of retirement every once in a while. When I just get when I get stagnant,
just
a little make some jewelry.
Yeah, boom, go make something. Let
me just go create something real quick.
Yep.
So you're handing out gold bars now, huh?
Well, I don't got a safe like old boy. For sure.
He's
I still get to make stuff.
He's making a killing though.
Yeah, they're doing well. Yeah. Well, everybody, welcome to Beyond the Letter. That was a whole episode. That was like you guys. It was reversed. It was you guys interviewing me for the first time. It was me talking.
Yeah, it was like a solo episode, but we were like with you in it.
We were along for the ride.
Yeah. Power pops.
Yeah.
Power pops.
That was crazy.
Yeah, man, I still haven't forgave my dad for that.
Let's open in prayer right now.
Sometimes I just look at him.
I would have just that
like
farm.
I could be retired right now if it wasn't for you, man. I could have sold to Nestle, man.
Huh?
Do you guys have any business? You guys have business ideas?
Oh yeah, Nancy asked if any of the other guys. Well, me and Fuego were just talking about that earlier, not in this podcast, but before we came in. Well, Aaron's an author. He'd be writing in books.
Yep.
That boy be getting down on it. Proverbs, Daily Trip. You know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sammy's. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's ideas that you have that you don't want to give away since it's being recorded if you feel there's heat on it. So you don't want to say that?
Heat on it.
I would say I like curating and creating. And so I like, whether it be like, I have different things that I will consult on. But then one of the things that we've just done, I was thinking about the Hispanic retreat. So that was cool. Like, so with a mutual friend of ours that is big into art history and church history, both of those, like is one of the only Christians on the top art boards in D.C. And then is huge into this late. They're in their like I think late 70s or so, maybe almost 80s. She reads about 80 to 100 books a year, so she's like really well read,
brilliant,
super smart.
You think you've met? Like I haven't met them. I've only listened to them on video. I mean, I figure myself to be pretty learned and read.
No,
I don't know what they're saying.
So they'll jump.
I have no idea what they're saying.
They'll like jump between like centuries.
No idea.
They'll jump between like centuries, and so sometimes you just got to be like, oh yeah, 4th century, yeah, for sure, yeah, all this stuff.
Yeah. They're so like the Byzantines.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you're like, oh yeah,
you're like, of course,
Byzantines.
of course, and then you're like just googling. Now you got chat. You'd be like, hey, chat, who are the Byzantines? You know what I mean? But through just friendship and relationship, my wife and I, and her and her husband, we've started to do retreats for Hispanics, Latinos, and church history. So not only are we, as you look statistically,
it's a white couple. Mm-hmm. But they have a huge passion for the Latin church.
Yeah, for the Latin church, they did a gathering for, African American as well as like African Christians, like early African Christianity. They did one. They're doing one for Asians as well, which I'm working on currently. But we've done 2 retreats because again, we're not only are we biblically illiterate. If you look at all the stats, we're also very church history illiterate. And so whatever we are bound, whatever we don't know, many times we're bound to repeat. So kind of the premise before is by 2045, Latinos will be the majority in America. By 2060, Hispanics will be the majority. 2045 majority minority. By 2060, Latino Hispanics will be the majority in America. Mm-hmm. The fastest growing Hispanic family, kind of that mestizo just means mixed, is actually Hispanic, Latino, Asians actually here in Southern California is the fastest growing, which is pretty cool, right? And so with all that, it's like, how do we not, when Hispanic Latinos take the majority, how do we lead by, in a biblical way and not through, because the Latinos, we have
putting roots in.
Yeah, we have our machismo, or our conquistador, right? Look at like all the conquering, or we have like, oh, we don't deserve it. We're hard workers, but no, we don't have it. No, but how do we do it through what I call relationships, resources, and roadways? And so what I did with this couple was gather together 10 different couples, and a real importance of it was not just having the men in the room, but the husbands and wives if they're married, because a lot of times the husbands just get the experience for 2-3 days, and then we try and relay it to our wives. What happened? And it's like, oh, it was amazing.
You should have been there.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, and they're like, I wasn't invited. Greater pain, So what's cool is we've done from the early church, right? So like Jesus' death and resurrection to 800 A.D. We did 800 to current. We had I would just like queue up if people want to listen to more into it. Justo L. Gonzalez, he's one of the top theologians. He's in his...
Spell it for those that don't know. Justo is not with an H.
Justo Gonzalez. Yeah, that's good. Let me type it in Justo.
I thought you said, who stole Ella?
Yeah, Justo Ella. But he can, and again, in the theological Hispanic world, he was the first, one of the first, if not the first in higher education. His wife was the first female in that higher education space. So him and his wife came out and did this retreat. And then we're going to be doing a trip actually on the Camino in Spain to go through it with a small group. So
what's the Camino?
The Camino is the journey in Spain, and you might know more about it. It's the way where people would walk through and journey across Spain. So not even, and it goes all the way up to, if I'm not mistaken,
and established churches.
Yeah,
so it was like the missionary route.
Yep.
Church establishment.
It goes all the way up even into the Scandinavian region, all the way down. There's thousands of kilometers as they measure in kilometers, not miles. But we're going to do about, a few hundred kilometers and journey through looking at where our history was to where we're going. So when you ask that question, it's like really educating. And then part of I feel like role is they're so brilliant. I tried to do my best to help translate and to create how can we look at our history and then really, make educated guesses and understandings of what we're going to be walking in. So.
Yeah. And I think there's this
and you were at the second, you and Ashley.
I did.
Yeah,
I went to one of them, and it was, I felt Mexican for the first time in my life.
Hey,
but I also,
come on, baby.
I also felt like an outsider as well, because that boy was talking about all Hispanic things in terms of the church, and it was going right over my head, some of this stuff. Yeah. But I mean, it just shows how smart they are in terms of what Justo specifically.
Yeah, for sure.
What he's talking about. But I think what's fascinating is I think there's a misconception in America right now that if you're a minority, that Christianity has been received to you late, and white Europeans have not only had Christianity before everyone else, but they manipulated Christianity, to make it viable to everyone else. But whether you study the African church, which is the Ethiopian church, is one of the oldest churches in the world. The Ethiopian eunuch was in the Book of Acts, was one of the first converted Christians in church history, period.
Yeah.
And went back to Ethiopia to preach the gospel and to establish a church. In the same way of many, through Spaniards and others, but even throughout beyond, like even a lot of the Hispanic traditions have had Christianity for a very long time, and it is not a new thing. And even a lot of the Hispanic ancestral worship was misconceptions, spin-offs of Christianity, and stuff like that, or Catholicism in that way as well. And so it's just fascinating to, it is. When you go to seminary, most of the church history you learn is white church history, it's European church history. You learn about the Reformation, you learn about Germany, you learn about the Dutch, you learn about Ulrich Zwingli and all these things. But in the Hispanic traditions and the African tradition, it's a whole other side,
whole nother
of
perspective.
church history that actually rarely gets taught in seminary, and mainly because we're Protestants and we're learning the Reformation, which did come from the European nations. But that's what's fascinating about it. It's like, as you learn about it, you like some of the earliest charismatics in terms of the gifts are Hispanics that come from the Catholic Church.
That's right.
Some before the Azusa Street revival, there were pockets of Hispanic Catholicism that was experiencing the gifts outward expression, and that was pre 1910 in some of those areas. So it's just fascinating to be like, oh, there's so much more going on in the body of Christ and in the church that. Of even people that look like you or me or us or whatever it may be, that sometimes it feels like you're on the outside when really God has been working globally for, generations.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And you think about like one of the church fathers we talked about was Bartolomeo de las Casas, who was
say it again. I like how your accent switches.
I'll say Bartolomeo de las Casas. That's how you say it. Bartolomeo de las Casas. Bartolomeo de las Casas. Yeah, you guys know.
How long you practice that in the mirror in order to get it right? You just
it just turns on. It turns on in the Spanish way, right?
Yeah.
But what's crazy is he was fighting for. He was fighting for the freedom for Native Americans. Like, I think it's
that's what Justo was talking about.
15th, 16th century.
Yeah.
But again, and he was, I think, Catholic origin, obviously, at that time. But then also from, like, that Spanish background. And the difference between...
He, gave his life for the Native Americans.
He did.
Right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
Yep,
He's a martyr.
Yeah, and so what's cool about it, too, is, like, knowing that what
What's
he
his
was...
name?
Bartolomeo de las Casas. You like that? You like that? How about you say it? You try.
Do you speak Spanish?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Not that much. When I lived in Puerto Rico, I was speaking fluent. I had a Mac at girls and stuff like that. So, yeah, definitely.
How would you make it, girls?
Give us an example.
Ya tú sabes. That's it.
Oh, he said, look,
now he put it in his fridge.
he said, look, you already know.
Ya tú sabes.
Look at me, you already know.
No, I'm just kidding. I just speak a lot of Spanish, but when I can't, I'm married to a Vietnamese woman, so,
Yeah. So your game is different.
You only use that language to Mac.
That's it.
So how do you spit game to your wife who's Vietnamese?
I mean, she speaks English, so she's good. She's good. I don't have to.
Hey, he's
I don't have to do none
it's the
of that.
poster child. Hey, it's the poster child. It's the Latino Asian.
Yeah.
I didn't even
the
look at that.
Mix.
Yeah, and our kids are Puerto Rican, man. They got both. They
Say it again.
black.
Mix.
That's it. They got the what is it? Bartolomeo Vu.
Bartolomeo.
But I had to put the little Vu at the end. Bartolomeo Vu.
Yeah.
So it's like
I like it.
Where's Will Chung?
I was gonna say, can we just FaceTime Will Chung? Mix. That was.
Get him in.
I love Will. Oh man, I can't wait to clip that and send it to him.
Oh. All right, Bartolomeo.
Yeah, Bartolomeo.
in the English one, but
and he defended the Native. This is if I remember right, I could be wrong. This is pre or post slavery in America.
Oh, pre,
right?
Yeah,
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think again,
This was the Europeans.
Yeah, and
right?
a lot of times you do not see these types of people. And then a few fun books from Justo that talks about some of these things. There's a book called Santa Biblia, which means like Holy Bible, that he wrote. That's a really good about looking at theology from a minority perspective. Very good. There's another book called the Augustine the Mestizo. because he was, he was mixed, which a lot of people don't
He
know.
was black and
Yeah.
what?
He was half black, half, what was it? I'm blanking on it.
Greek or something
I
like
think
that?
so, yeah.
Greek, half African, half Greek.
But people don't
yeah,
realize
right. They
that.
think he's white
Exactly.
European.
And so
Yeah.
you look at like even some of his perspective, Augustine.
And he's OG. He's
Augustine, everyone quotes him.
300 or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then you look at like, wow, this dude was like half African. He was mixed.
Yeah.
So then you look at that. So like some of these books, it just helps in the perspective to
Mixed.
see. you stop being there. I'm not gonna go there. So, but that was fun. That was a fun one. I'm glad you and Ashley were there too. And the cool thing is,
Yeah.
not everyone was his like.
Because people marry now and you're
Exactly.
mixed.
So
like
Chandler,
they're-
my wife
yeah.
is white, right?
Yeah.
And I'm half white, half Latino. So you had a
I'm
bunch.
black.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, me too.
I got adopted into that gathering.
yeah.
First lunch Adam takes me to.
What did you do?
This first lunch.
What did you do?
So we didn't really know each other that well.
Yeah,
We're
yeah,
talking.
yeah.
Do you remember like at a sushi spot on Foothill?
Oh, you went to a
Wait, did
neutral
we go
ground.
to Kins? Did we go to Kins
Yes.
sushi? Okay.
You went to a
Okay.
neutral
No,
ground.
I don't
You didn't
remember.
want to go too
Yeah,
Spanish. Too, like, we
Let's go Japanese.
mix.
He was like, you know how it is being raised black. How we have to like, it's hard for us. And I'm just
You're looking at it like,
Just mad casual.
it's like, yeah.
Like, you know how it is to struggle.
And just like people just didn't understand me in high school because it's a black man like you and I, like we were like. But I was waiting for them to be like, but he was just like, yeah, you feel me?
Why would-
yeah, of course.
Listen, if people can identify as whatever they want nowadays, I can be black. All right. Sometimes when I go preaching at places, I'll say, hey, my name's Adam, but I'm half Mexican, I'm half white, but I identify as black. And normally the
love
room
it.
loses it. Yeah. Especially if like a room is
Yeah.
black. They
If
lose
if
dude.
it's a white room, they'd be like,
I don't preach in white rooms. I wouldn't know. White people don't invite me. They know I'm gonna offend.
They invite me.
Yeah, they invite Aaron.
yeah.
Hey, Aaron, can you come and can you wear your glasses?
Mix.
Can you wear a collared shirt and your glasses, Aaron?
Yeah.
That's what happens with Aaron. I'll be like a pastor will be like, you're not gonna offend anyone today, are you? I'm like, I don't think so.
We'll see.
I don't think so. I have no plans to, but maybe.
yeah.
Maybe we might.
Yeah. Oh man.
What went through your head? Like I don't remember that. Were you like, man, this guy's crazy?
I don't remember that. You're making that up. Right?
No, I was
Well,
just.
I do that often, so
Yeah.
that's why I can't remember we talked about that moment since, but I don't remember like
so funny.
I was 100% serious.
Yeah,
I
like
wasn't
super
joking.
authentic.
Yeah, I wasn't joking.
Super, like
you
it was
know,
like building
yeah.
relationship.
Yeah,
like we as
yeah.
black men,
Yeah.
we got to stick together. Like because I understand your
But-
story.
but
He's
Like,
trying to see, is this a joke or is it?
But the thing is, years down the line, knowing Aaron as I know now, I would have never made that correlation.
Yeah.
Because I'm more black than him. So he hasn't lived my experience. So I would never do that for him. I would never make that correlation with him. It's different lived experience.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Just told, not. You know what I mean? Aaron's like graduating high school at 14 with honors. Like,
Yeah.
he ain't live my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's 12 with,
Yeah.
working on his bachelor's.
Yeah. Speaking Hebrew already.
Exactly. Yeah. Working on his business degree at 14. Totally different. You know?
So what did you think when he said that? What were your?
He thought, this guy's
He's
crazy.
like, this guy. He's on the.
no,
he's on
there
the
was
spectrum.
there was a thought like, how do I tell him?
Yeah.
How do I?
I'm breaking it to you before you bring it to me.
And
You just want to get it out the
now,
way.
And
Hey,
now,
as
and
we're
now
black men-
Adam's thinking the same thing. How do I tell him?
How do I let him? I don't know.
I
How to
gotta
break
let him
it to you.
You gotta let them know. That's how I identify. See, you were an early adopter, even in that area.
Yeah, bro.
Look
I've been
at you.
identifying a long time.
Yeah, amen,
Very
brother.
long time.
Amen.
I've been real conversations me and Ashley will have because she'll say I'm the black one in the family and this and I'll look at Ashley. There's no way. There's no way you're the black one in the family. Like if our boys do something that's really black,
Yeah.
and Ashley be like, clearly got that from my side. I'm like, no, there's There's no way. Got that for me. They got that for me. That swagger's for me. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. You ain't doing nothing. Ashley's, her family are not only white, they're Polish. Which is
What is that dish?
extreme. Well, they got a lot of dishes. The one, I don't think it's a Polish dish.
Okay,
You talking
okay.
about the pickles?
Yes, yes.
I think it's a family thing. I think that's a Mesic thing.
Got it.
Which is their family, but they do ham cream cheese pickle rolls.
What?
Yeah. So they take a slice of ham, they take like a big thing, like dollop of cream cheese. They take a pickle and then they wrap it up almost like a little cigar or whatever. And then they slice.
What's a cigar?
yeah. And then they slice it, and then they take toothpicks and they put it. So you take these little bites of a piece of ham, cream cheese, pickle, and they call it ham cream cheese pickle roll. When I was dating Ashley, it was honestly a serious consideration not to marry her.
Oh yeah,
based off of that appetizer. 'Cause I thought to myself,
100%.
if I marry her, would this be on
the menu
on the counter at our home?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Thank God it wasn't. We had to talk about it, but it was severely contended at the beginning. And then whenever we bring
That would be tough to overcome.
Whenever Ashley's like, Adam, I'm more black than you. I'm like,
What do you call it? What do you call it? What
ham
is-
cream cheese pickle roll.
No, but what is it called? Something?
Ham cream cheese pickle roll.
It's got to have a name.
The name is the descriptor.
Hey, you can't name that.
at least
you
it got
can't
the
name that.
ingredients.
Hey, that's bad. That sounds gross.
I'm like.
Have you ate it before?
No, bro. There's not enough. I'm not. No.
You didn't even try it.
I would have secret.
No.
I would have hot sauce and just try and like, you know what I'm
I would
saying?
just be like me, and I'd be like, I don't know. I don't know if this
I don't
offends
eat-
your culture, but
yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not eating a ham cream cheese pickle roll.
No. I don't like cream cheese though, so I want to eat it either. But
So and then they got another thing, and my mother-in-law knows they have this thing called pasta choli, something like that. It's basically like it's a lasagna made with noodles. Like, so instead of the
I've heard
instead
that.
of the flat ones, and instead of like the lasagna, which is the layered pasta,
Yeah,
it's like the
like
squiggly noodles or whatever. And
lazy lasagna.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah. And this is essentially what it is. So they're like, "Oh, you want some pasta choli?" I'm like, "You mean like lasagna?" No, it's pasta choli. It's like this whole thing.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. So I just tell Ashley all the time, "You ain't out. You're not blacker than me. You make masa choli and ham cream cheese pickle roll.
That's
not
funny.
My people were not doing that.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah. Amen.
The only thing I still do is I'll drink some drink while I'm eating. I know it's frowned upon in the community. I know. Well, no, just drink like you're supposed to. You can only drink till you're done with
Afterwards.
your
Oh,
meal.
okay.
Call my black friends growing up.
Yeah,
I'd be
you
like,
eat
dang,
first.
I'm thirsty. And they'd be like, sorry. Wait till you're done
yeah,
eating. And I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm so
Like,
parched.
I need a
right
little
now."
beverage.
Yeah, like,
I need a little sweet treat.
like, can I get a juice? And they're like, no, not. And they'll look
No,
at you
no,
like
no,
you're
no.
gonna die.
Oh, yeah.
You better
Don't do
not
it.
ask my
Yeah.
mom for no juice. You better be like,
Yeah, that's the sweet treat afterwards.
yeah, right. Because you'll get full off the juice.
Oh yeah.
Is this news to you, Aaron?
No, it's not
about our
news to me.
community.
No.
Is this news?
No.
I'll take you through a clinic after this if you like.
Oh, it's so funny.
All right, man. Sammy always gets us talking about race. This is his fault, man. Every time,
Hey,
whether it's Will Chung or
you
anyone
started
else,
this
we gotta
morning
talk
by
about
roasting.
ethnicity.
You started by roasting.
I didn't do anything this morning.
You did.
At our staff rally.
You
You
let a
were
little
on
bit
at the
out.
staff rally.
Yeah,
you were
and people
there.
need to know this. So later on in the day, we're a little bit more
Looser.
freer.
Yeah. Normally
Yeah.
be on the letters early morning.
Talk about
much more reserved.
the importance of roasting each other as
Well,
friends.
my theory is,
or
well, a few things-
16 hours of prep that you do for your message.
yeah. That one day,
Yeah.
one day. No. So what I always say is, if I'm not making funny, I don't like you.
Mm-hmm.
So and it's not that I'm against you. It's just I don't feel comfortable with you
Yeah.
yet. So especially if you meet my dad, joking is my dad's love language.
Oh,
Yeah.
If my dad is firing on you, it means he likes you.
Yeah.
If he's not calling you out, making some
Yeah.
type of ethnicity joke or something, he don't. Not that he don't like. He just don't
Yeah.
know you. He's not gonna do it. The moment
Yeah.
he says something reckless,
Yeah.
it's like congratulations.
Yep.
He likes you.
His love language
Yeah,
is sarcasm.
yeah. Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's my dad thing.
Yeah.
So same thing. You got to get and a roasted is accountability. So like
So true.
in our crew, some people like we study our sermon prep on Tuesdays with men, and I get asked sometimes, why don't any girls go in that sermon prep? Well, girls can at times, they will if they're assigned to teach or anything like that, but weekly. It's because roasting is still part of our standard. I don't think the average female would be able to handle. Because sometimes you can either have a sit down feedback cover. I could sit with Sammy and I could be like, "Hey, Sammy, here's what I think you could do." Yeah. Or I could be like, "Yeah, right. Why you
Yeah, whatever.
Why you keep telling us what to do?"
Yeah. Why you always do that? And it's like message received.
Oh yeah.
But it's lighthearted. Lighthearted.
Should we say
what
the silent cry one? We won't need to say the name. Should we say the silent cry?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So we were at a retreat with some friends. This is great. And so first off, I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I had to prepare. My wife Chandler is white, but in her heart she's a minority. But I had to prepare her going into my family's house.
Identifies.
Hey, we loud.
Yeah.
And if we're like roasting you, it's not that we don't like you, we love you. So so it definitely is a difference between white culture and minority culture.
Like Chandler, they're gonna tell you you're white in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta push back. You know, you know. But you gotta be like, man, you more white than me. You know what I mean? So you push back, have fun.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you call me white in them sandals? What you talking about?
Exactly. Perfect. So we had a friend that we were doing a little like conversation. Won't say who it is, but we had a friend talking about how, because we were talking about practicals on preaching,
sermon prep,
sermon prep, all this stuff.
What's your prayer life look like? Time in the Word.
Another person asked, okay, we heard the practicals, but what do you do, like spiritually, to prepare? He didn't hear the original purpose of the group, so then we all started pivoting though. Oh, this is how you spiritually prepare. Yeah. Adam shared, a few other people shared. But then one of our buddies shared and was literally like, he said, he goes,
"Oh, so me? This is what I do."
Yeah. So say what he said.
He goes, so me, what I do is my sermon prep day starts at 8 a.m. It ends at midnight. It's a 16-hour prep day.
Wait.
My staff deliver lunch to me because I'm in the prayer room, the war room. And
so anyone who's preached, you're like,
it's impossible.
16 hours? There's no way. And then he said, what did he say about his retreats? His 3-day retreats? This is the one. This is the fun.
He goes once a year.
Yeah.
He goes, people on video are going to be able to say, he says once a year for 3 days I do a retreat with the Lord. For 3 days I don't say anything. No words come out of my mouth for 3 days, and I just cry out to God.
And then literally he goes, I don't talk for 3 days. And he goes, say nothing. He goes, for 3 days I just cried to the Lord. Now you got to understand, roasting is our love language,
bro. These are 13 high level senior pastors.
It doesn't even like. It goes when you hit it. Timing. Comedy's all about timing.
Yeah.
I don't even mean to say it. It just came out like, and I was like, yeah, and that's hard to do on a silent retreat, crying out to the Lord. He has to do it like this for 3 days. And the whole place fell out of their chair.
Opens his mouth and says that. He just goes
like, because I'm like, how are you going to do 3 days silent and cry out to the Lord?
Yeah,
seriously. And it just went.
I'm on the ground at that point.
Goodness.
I'm on the ground. But speaking of roasting your friends, immediately that afternoon, Sammy and I go in a group text with him, and we just do like, we'll put pictures of a guy just sitting in a room, and we'll be like,
screaming.
"Hey, so and so sermon prepping." Just like he's getting ripped on. Just a guy in a cave. Like, hey, here's your. Hey, I've got a video of your sermon prep, and it's just a guy in a cave by a campfire.
And I think we all need that.
Yeah.
No, we do.
Because you're gonna second guess next time you try to try to. And maybe it's true. If it's true, then okay, man, that's impressive. But we still gonna clown it.
Are his sermons fire though? Like,
incredible. One of the best preachers in the nation for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. If we said
so
his
probably
name,
does
you
about
would know
17 hours of prep.
Yeah, probably not 16. It's probably more like 17.
If you include sleeping, 17.
Yeah,
for sure.
Crying.
Yeah, crying out silently. No, but I just think it's like you roast who you love. You know what I mean? And it's a love language. And I think what's really cool about it too is like you're able to check each other, joking, but also like able to talk about stuff.
Yeah.
It's that person that's like, 3 days a week, me and my wife go on a date and we ask each other, blah, 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 blah. And if you know those people, you look at them, you're like, Man, that's a lie. You
Or
ain't
the-
been
or-
on a date in like 9 years.
Or
What are you
the or the
talking
or the
about? You know,
one
there's
where
people that-
the one where you check Jermaine and you were looking it up too. That was so
on the
funny on the
podcast.
spot.
real time.
about
On the
him
real
working
time.
out.
Yeah.
3 days a week, 45 minutes incline.
Let's call your
treadmill.
wife.
He
You're
says,
lying.
and he says, he said minimum 45.
Let's
And
call
then
your wife
when,
right
when
now.
the fact checkers came out, he's like, but maybe. And then you're like,
My wife's just a
she
hater.
said, no, bro. I was dead.
Hey, there's the one thing about me. I'm calling out fluff. If that don't sound true, and then here's the thing: if it's true,
Yeah.
then I'm gonna give you your flowers.
Yeah.
If I hit your wife up and she's like, "No, he's doing that," I'm gonna be like, "Bro,"
Hey, good
good.
work.
And I'm gonna tell everyone, "Hey, you know this about Jermaine, but putting his work right now." But if it's not, ooh, you better look out.
Oh, you better be careful.
Yeah. That's what's big about our culture, right? Aaron?
Yeah,
You know
for
what I'm saying?
sure. Yeah, it
You're
is.
gonna get clowned. All right, everybody. God bless you. Thanks for joining us
Love
today.
y'all.
Peace.